Everyone, Long here. So first off, I just want to say thank you to We Appy Studio for the opportunity to review Hollywood Animal. It's an upcoming narrative game. It's more like it's they are in the business of like making a lot of narrative games with some elements here and there. So if you haven't yet, please go check out their other games. They are pretty cool. I had a great time playing. This is The Police. I tried out Rebel Cops, both of which are really great games in their wheelhouse. If you haven't yet, please check them out. They are quite an awesome studio. Being said, let's go into the review on the upcoming game Hollywood Animal. First off, this is basically a demo of Hollywood Animal, and the first thing that will come up is basically a trigger warning. Hollywood, back in the back in the old days, Hollywood had undergone a lot of different changes, all of which may or may not have been historical, but there have been a lot of like documented uh, there have been a lot of documented ongoings about like the Hollywood lifestyle, and hence the need for them to do a trigger warning. So now, personally, I am not going to I am not going to comment on whether or not many of these were true or not. I am by no means a historian. I am just basically a gamer who basically just enjoys playing games like these. So yeah, for those who may not be too familiar with this kind of atmosphere, like the rumors may or may not be true, but there's certainly enough points on a graph that you could probably go to that may relate that there is a pattern. But again, I will not be expounding this today. Today I am actually going to just talk to you about the upcoming game, which when you look at the game overall, I mean, like there is a lot of material, which to me I don't mind so much. I mean, like I am someone who will take everything with will approach things with an open mind, and especially because like the material itself is not really too preachy. It is basically just a depiction of like what has transpired in Hollywood, perhaps, or perhaps not. But for me, for me, my approach was to take this with a, from the approach that like this is kind of like, there maybe have some history to go with it, but there otherwise pretty much, I believe that there's a disclaimer here that is that I know nothing about like whether or not any of this was real. I would have some like reason to believe that some of this may have actually happened. But in any case, it is all wrapped up in a game where you play the role of the owner of a studio, and your goal is to basically build a very successful like Hollywood studio. And this game is going to be set back in the I believe it's like during the periods of like World War II, and then going into like the futures here. So you have a slice of a demo, which like your studio will succeed or fail. And in my particular case, my studio unfortunately failed because I really did not do a good job managing the studio, but I did enjoy making a lot of different decisions throughout the game, where throughout this demo, where like there are things that would cost a lot of money, things like that would eat into my profits, and just basically making good decisions. I had one playthrough, but in that one playthrough, I had a chance to like see what this game has to offer. So there are things in the demo that will be locked off to the main game that will be coming up soon, but otherwise, but you do get like the overall aesthetic of what the game is about. So this is a very very dirty like Hollywood environment that you're going to be playing in, and your goal is to ensure that you negotiate with like various parties, including your own staff, production crews, your stable of actors and actresses, and you're going to be taking them through not just like hiring them, firing them, but you're also going to have to like navigate through all of their life moments, their vices, and you're gonna have to deal with like many like power players who may or may not help your studio in the brightest light possible. More importantly, you are going to have to manage the cost of actually producing your own like movies and then getting them out, and then trying to get them out to the public as much as you can, with the hope that like your studio is going that your movies are going to succeed. Surface level, the scores do matter to a point, like the production values. They do end up like affecting the sway of the critics. Like if the critics like see it in a positive light, then likely more people will get interested and will go to see a movie. And it goes the other way around. And now again, this is just basically, which to me is like going to be sufficient enough for like what the game has to offer. So the game is set to like release for early access on the 27th of February. So in early access, there's plenty of opportunities to actually like leave feedback and like allow people to like talk about like what's there to tweak. The studio has had a very solid reputation in the past with Rebel Cops, and particularly This Is the Police. I remember just going through a lot of narrative choices. So if the past games are of any indication, I believe that the quality of the narratives will carry on over to Hollywood Animal as well. This is not a game that beats you over the head with forced diversity. It is up to you, the studio owner, to figure out like what's going to matter a lot. So are you actually going to go for trying to diversify your staff, or are you going to try to beef up your staff with like quality, with qualifications that do matter in a studio? So the choice is up to you. You have to like make those decisions. And at the end of the day, I do believe that there is a lot of replayability available here. So the actors and actresses, along with like the production crew potential staff, I believe that they have some elements of RNG. So it is up to you to like figure out like how is this going to work in your studio, and you have to basically solve that puzzle. Now, which I unfortunately failed, but that's where the fun is. So I mean, like as long as you don't, the game itself carries a very serious tone, but there are some like happy moments to be had there as well. So it comes down to your ability as a studio owner to just navigate your studio into a golden age. So hopefully your studio will thrive or it will die based on what you are aiming for, really. So if it's not just about like the quality of the movies that will rake in millions upon millions of dollars, it's basically going to be your ability to navigate like many of the other hazards. So for example, you'll have like weather that will mess up like the quality of your movies, or some major event happens that will postpone the production of your movies. Maybe there's something that will maybe there will be something that keeps you from releasing a movie out to theaters. So all of which you are going to have to navigate. And so so the beauty of it is that you get to see this from a bird's eye view, and then only going down to the minutia when the occasion calls for it. So basically, it actually does a pretty decent job of putting you in the clothing of of the studio owner. You really want to focus on the success of your business, but there do exist things that could potentially be scandal breaking, and likely you could go to trial for things that you may or may not do, because it's that's just basically the nature of the game, and it's quite exciting in that way. So otherwise, like so for me personally, I think like Hollywood Animal, it will offer a lot of replay value to have, and you're gonna get some really cool narratives, like whether it be it they are dark or they are happy. That's up to you. You have to navigate that for yourself. So, are you going to become like this noble, like studio, or are you going to have some, are you going to be plagued with scandals? I mean, after all, you can also you can also invest in a security force that actually engages in kidnapping, like in other crimes that I'm not going to be speaking about. So that it's all up to you, and I guess that's why the trigger warning is in place. But if you think about it from a fictional perspective, it is a game at the end of the day that will entertain you. But if you decide you're gonna take some lessons from it, hey, I would say just go for it. It's up to you. But for me personally, I do see this as entertainment, and it might give some insights on like what's happened in the past, but it won't inform like how I approach morality in the in the real world, as it is a video game. So yeah, and that's all really, to me, that's all it really needs to be. So I mean, like we can discuss in like later later on outside of this video if we decide to have topics on morality, but that's just not in the scope of this video. So anyway, that's going to be it for me, but I just want to say thank you again to Wholesome for the and Weappy Studio for the opportunity to look at Hollywood Animal. So far, the game has a lot of potential, and I think and I look forward to seeing like how this will like evolve. So yeah, I'm going to keep my eyes on this one, but I just want to say thank you again, and I hope that if you decide to, feel free to check it out for yourself. Feel free to wishlist it. It is not yet for sale, but it could be but maybe like towards the end of February. So I hope that you enjoy. And that's it for me, everyone. If you like what you saw here, feel free to like the video, comment on what you enjoyed and what you didn't enjoy. And if you want to see more content like this, please do subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell. All right, that's it for me, everyone. Thanks a lot. Hang loose.